Back in September last year, I interviewed Jason, who is a wonderful past QHHT client of mine, because he was so keen to share his extraordinary experience. Not only did he meet God, or the hub of the universe as he calls it, but he also explored various other past lives, including the past life of a primitive man and a Native American Indian. But interestingly enough, he also went back into memories from this lifetime, which has really given him far more clarity about what he went through as a child, and more importantly, the opportunity to reflect back on his past in a totally different way. Jason's been exploring spirituality since he was a young boy, since he first recognised his ability to control his dreams. But at the end of this incredible interview, he shared with me that the QHHT experience was the best thing he's ever done. Now that's a statement and a half, isn't it? So I hope you enjoy this interview, and if you ever fancy delving into your past lives or receiving information beyond the physical realm to heal or simply satisfy your curiosity about other incarnations, please reach out to me, because I'd absolutely love to help you do that. I'm sending you all of my love as always, Georgina. It was one of the most cosmic QHHT sessions that I've ever facilitated, so thank you for choosing me to work with. And I'm wondering, what was your reason for reaching out to me? Why did you feel drawn to having a QHHT session?
Now, firstly, I can cooperate well with you, spiritually and not spiritually. You're a nice open conduit, so that makes it easy. Secondly, I'm always interested in doing things I've never done in the spiritual realms, and I've always had things in my life that have sort of hung there like a dark shadow. So maybe it's part of my shadow work, going up the steps through the shadow work to knock things off, to find a nice level playing ground in life.
Was there something specific that you wanted to achieve from the session? Did you have like a direct focus, something that you were looking to dive more deeply into, or any sort of patterns of behaviour, or anything that you really brought to the session as like your focus, the thing that you wanted to achieve from this piece of work?
There are, everybody's got skeletons in their closet or ghosts, and I've got some, and I suppose I hold them close to my heart, and it can be very awkward sometimes to talk about them. So I guess, thinking about it now, if I was under hypnosis talking about them, maybe that makes it easier. Never actually thought that before.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was, I mean, I could talk to you about anything anyway, but if someone else wanted to bring things out and talk about it, but they had trouble, then being under hypnosis, it comes out easily. That's interesting. Never actually thought that before.
Yeah.
So there are things, and I think things did come out, didn't they?
Yeah, for sure.
I can't specifically pinpoint them because I came here with a very open mind. Like when I went to see a medium, I went with an open mind, and there wasn't anyone I particularly wanted to connect to. There wasn't anything specifically that I wanted to travel back to, but there were little hints from the past, and I thought it'd be interesting if that comes up or if I go there. But I came really with a very open mind, and I think probably that's the best way to come. I don't know. It was for me.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, and you're my favourite type of person to work with as well. Somebody who comes along for like curiosity as much as anything else. Did you feel like we uncovered things that you weren't aware of when we were doing like the conscious talking part of the day, before we even moved into the hypnosis phase? We're sitting on the sofa having a lovely chat, do you feel like when you reflect back on that, we uncovered things that perhaps you hadn't spoken about for a long time, or did you manage to see things in a slightly different way due to our conversation?
I definitely enjoyed that bit. It was just spewing everything out and organised by you, so organised spewing. But going through, you were opening all the drawers, and it's like, wow, yeah, hang on, stuff's coming out, because you know where it's what you do. You know how to open people's drawers. So yeah, that definitely, and it was nice. It was good. It was relaxing. It was fun, and it's good to talk.
Yeah.
So without a doubt, that was. And I remember originally when you asked me to do it years ago. At first, I think it's probably like most people's reaction is, it's going to be how long? All day. Most people in modern life haven't got all day, have they?
Yeah.
But have we? That's the question. So as time went on, when at first you asked me to do a session, I thought, I don't think I could do that. It seems too long. And then as time went on, I thought, of course I can do it. What are you talking about? It would be an amazing thing to do. So it did take time, even for me, with a very open mind, to settle into the idea of actually doing it. And it wasn't until the second or third time things went wrong, didn't it? The first couple of times. And I was, oh my God, there's a traffic jam from here to Brighton. I couldn't get through. And you said, it's not your time. Don't worry. That was nice. That's very understanding. And I thought, maybe it's not my time yet. And then all of a sudden, everything rolled into the right time. And it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, how the universe helps that along.
And it often happens that way.
Yeah.
What was it like for you reflecting back on your life, talking about everything you've ever been through? Because like for every human being, it's a lot. What was that like for you?
Very interesting. Very interesting. Mixed emotions about everything, isn't it? It's mixed emotions about everything, but it helps you kind of build a bit of structure to your life, I suppose. Whereas it might seem a bit sort of messy and hazardous, I suppose most people's lives are, helped it put it into a bit more structure. Yeah.
Well, I know that you've been on your kind of spiritual journey and exploring different subjects for a long time. I'm wondering whether it would be quite interesting for you to speak about what started this kind of spiritual openness journey for you. Was there a specific moment in your life where you thought, I need to learn more, or did it just kind of start to happen? What was it like for you?
Well, I was a child. Start when I was very young. I think it was from a dream I had in my grandmother's with my brother and sisters. We all slept in the big bed at grandma's house, and we were talking about dreaming. And I said, I'm going to have a dream tonight, and I'm going to pinch myself in the dream. I'm going to wake up. Then I know I've been in the dream. And it happened. I had the dream. I was walking across the road. I said, hey guys, we're in a dream. Yeah. Watch, I'll pinch myself. And I did in the dream, and they watched me, and I woke up in the bed. And I was very young, less than 10. And I remember thinking, you can be in control of your dreams. And it all started there. And then my whole life's been full of spiritual, wonderful, magical happenings.
How do you think that's changed you as a person, having that understanding, which is maybe attached to what we could describe as like the bigger picture, kind of seeing life from a different perspective? How's it changed you, Jason, as a person?
I wouldn't know because I've only been that person.
Yeah.
But I'm glad of it because you never feel alone. Your mind's never bored. You can't get bored. There's no dead ends. So to be open to the spiritual realms is an amazing thing. And I suppose if you're born like that, it's a bit of luck. Some people get there using hallucinogenics if they're not there, which can help. But when it's there, you don't need that. So yeah, it's great fun, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you explain this understanding that you have to the people around you in your life that perhaps don't have the understanding that you have?
How do I explain it to people?
Yeah, how do you communicate your beliefs or your interests? Do you, or maybe you don't? How do you live with other people that perhaps don't?
I suppose in conversation you bring up the word spirituality, and if it perks someone up, you're away. You can talk about interesting things and go on forever. But if they're not, you just leave it. Some people are, some people aren't. Some people don't want to be. I call it the ether. Some people call it God. Some people call it the power of the universe. It's just that magic, isn't it?
So with all of the understanding that you had before we worked together and all of the other exploring that you've done, material you've consumed and things that you've watched and read, did you have a thought about what the QHHT was going to bring up for you? Did you have an expectation of what you were going to receive when you were in the altered state of hypnosis?
Don't know. I don't know if I can remember if I did. There's always things, like I say. And yeah.
You were just open-minded, weren't you?
I was just open-minded to see where it goes. I didn't want to hone in on anything specific.
Yeah.
I wanted to just free will.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see where you took me without any of my own guidance.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about where you went. Obviously, in my QHHT sessions, the people that I work with are kind of in the hypnosis state for about 3 hours, which seems like a lot, but obviously there's no awareness of time when you're exploring in that way. Tell us about your experience. What happened to you when you were in the altered state?
So after our long chat for a couple of hours on the sofa, I got into a lovely little warm bed with a hot water ball, really comfortable, and it was nice and lovely in here and warm and comfortable. And you began to talk very slowly, and I slowly went and went and went. You got me to leave my ego out of my body, and I was thinking, well, I'm on a single bed, so as I felt and tried to get my ego to leave my body, I visualized it coming out and going, well, there's no room in the bed, Jason, so where am I going to go? So I actually laid him, whether it's him or her, next to me, but on his side, because there wasn't enough room for him to lay down on his back. So he was laid down on his side and he was looking at me. So that's how I visualized my ego leaving my body and lying on the bed next to me. And then that was interesting that I could visualize that happening. And then you got me to sort of, from what I remember, almost to feel like I was laying on a cloud and I was going up. I was going up. And where did I get to? I'm trying to think where I got to first, and I think where I got to first was looking down on prehistoric life with prehistoric people doing prehistoric things out in nature. To me, it seemed like how life should be. So it's gone back to a nice, simple way of life, which kind of makes sense. But the sky was all multicoloured and moving. Trippy looking sky. And it got me thinking, well, we have rainbows now, and we have light prisms, and we have all these colours that appear in the sky anyway. So at some point in time, maybe the sky was like that for certain astrological reasons. I don't know. But the sky was all colourful and lovely. And that's the first place I went and thought, why am I here? I don't know. Why was I there? Don't know why I was there. But it was a nice place to be. And I didn't know I would go there.
What was your character in that scene?
My character, I think I just don't know, maybe I was one of them, I suppose. Whether that's somewhere that my deep inside wants to be or not, I don't know. I suppose I do like that kind of simple lifestyle. So it was a nice place to be. Maybe I've gone, I don't know, maybe I've gone back to someone in that time, but I was floating above looking down on them.
Oh, so you were above the scene rather
Yes.
than being in the scene.
In fact, before this happened, you got me to visualize myself looking at myself. Mm-hmm. That's very interesting because I saw myself floating up there with giant eagle wings, and I was happy. I was in my walking gear, so it was a weekend. So I was out in nature at my happiest. But I had all these, what I could explain as applications bolted to me. Like there were things that I collected through lifetimes, or my lifetime, or many lifetimes. And these things were, I can't even describe what they were or what they looked like, because they were kind of shiny. They might have been made of metal, but they were otherworldly. And I can only describe it as the scene in the Bible, which I haven't read much of, but Ezekiel was very interesting, wherein everything came down from the heavens and it was like a spaceship with wings, part animal. So I don't know whether my mind was connecting it with that or whether that was a thing, but it was a very interesting thing to look at. There I am, happy, floating above myself with applications of knowledge that I've collected, and I'm going around the universe doing stuff. Where did that come from? You know, that was mad. I've never visualized that before, so that was really interesting. So I looked like I was happy and in a good place, as opposed to someone might come along and see themselves crying in a corner, dark. You know, it tells a lot about a person. So I'm happy that I seemed like I was in a good place. Yeah. I was doing a good thing.
Where did you move to after the primitive life?
After that, you got me to go further and further and further, and you edged me to more cosmic. So I went, from what I remember, it's quite a while ago now, but I went into what I can only describe as in space, but also at the bottom of the ocean, because it was dark. Everything was black in the background, but everything in the foreground was illuminated, bright, colourful, and it was otherworldly, because it was like the creatures at the bottom of the sea with those mad colours and tentacles, stuff you've never seen before. But it was also a bit cosmic, spacecrafty. I'd never seen anything like it before, and the way things were moving, the way things were connected emotionally, that was a big thing. All these things that were moving I was emotionally connected to, so it was a universal thing. Really, really out there.
So in the first one, you were kind of like watching that primitive scene from
looking
above.
down on it, yeah.
What
now I'm in it.
You're in it now.
I'm in it. It's all around me. I'm right in it. And then you got me to go further. And then I was like the hub of the universe, like where everything happens, because it was as if I was in a beehive and all us humans or things were coming in and out with information, like it was an information hub. And I didn't know whether that was what people called God, or I call it the ether, or whether, I'm not sure. But if you're going to get close to anything, the hub, as I call it, that seemed like I was there. It was otherworldly. I've never thought or visualized any of those things or feelings, and that connection and the beehive thing. It was surreal.
Were you in a physical form when you were exploring in that way? Did you have a body?
I felt like I was laying there in my body, but a bit more translucent. So some of the creature things I was seeing, half creature, half spaceship, had a translucency to them.
And you were similar. You had a
Yeah,
similar form to that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was as if we had lots of invisible rods connected to each other, all feeling what each other could feel.
Do you remember what the emotions were?
Mainly love and information, on passing that information on, and helping others because others have helped you. So yeah, very lovely place to be, very wonderful feeling, mind-blowing. Yeah, I never knew I'd go there.
What was it like to have that godly experience and to feel completely connected? I know you said the emotion was love, but I'm wondering how that's affected you since you had that experience, bringing it into your kind of life.
I suppose because I've had that vision and that feeling floating in amongst it, I could still go back to that feeling. It's just a nice feeling.
Yeah.
You can just go back there now because you've had that feeling.
Do you go back there?
I'm going back there now.
Are you?
Now that, yeah, you do intermittently. You do go in and out of it. And if you wanted to go back there more, I suppose you could really meditate and go right back there. But yeah, it's always about my person because it's in there now.
You've integrated it.
Yeah, integrated it.
Carry it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's another app.
Yeah,
it's the main app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you reflect back on those apps that you were describing as being otherworldly, do you have an understanding of what that was showing you? Because we know in QHHT you get shown information that's going to help you after the session. How do you think seeing yourself in that way has supported you? Has it?
Seeing yourself with those apps, I suppose it's telling me that you've got all these things to be proud of. You've collected all this wisdom and knowledge. They're your badges of honour. There you go. There's your medals, your little badges of honour. Instead of being shown with a chainsaw and a murdering axe, you've got all these wonderful badges of honour, which is quite nice to hear, isn't it? Reminding that, you know.
Did you have any other lives after that kind of quite cosmic experience?
I think after that, in the experience, trying to explain everything, I think you got me to start coming back, and I stopped in a couple of places. One was I was hovering over the top of a Native American landscape, and I do feel quite Native American in my spirituality. I do love that connection with the land, similar to sort of Buddhism and just nature. And I was looking down, and this was really emotional because looking down on the teepees and people moving around, I was there with a woman outside my teepee and lots of children running around. And then the realization came that we were medicine people, and the children and the people were coming to us for some sort of healing. It's quite nice because my name Jason means healer. So I might have been a Native American healer at some point. Would make sense, I suppose. Maybe that's what I wanted to be and didn't become. I don't know. I never know. But if it's a past life regression thing, then maybe I've been that before. So, and then I had the realization that the woman that I was with, the reason all the children were coming to us is because we couldn't have children. And I remember a tear rolling down my face. I don't know where that came from. That was deep, really, really deep. So that was really, really deep. And I was just floating above watching that scene play out. So that was really interesting. I'd never sort of thought that before.
So you said there that maybe this was a past life. Is that what you believe you've experienced in this QHHT session? The things that you've spoken about, the primitive life, that kind of crazy cosmic experience in the Native American, Do you see these as being incarnations that you've lived out yourself?
I don't know. I know this is what it's all about. So I suppose it's got to be. But it's the first time I've ever experienced it or even given it any really big thought, going back in time. So I'm still learning, coming to grips with it.
Do you feel like you're still processing the session?
I think I'll always be processing it.
To you?
I think I'll always be processing it. But it's a real life trip. It's a real life trip. So that it was an emotional moment. So
did we get to discover anything after that Native American life?
We did, and I didn't expect to go here either. I came back more into my life now. I came back into my life. And it was when I was very young and my mother had left home and my new mother and her children, all up, two families got together, like the Brady Bunch. And it was a big moment in our lives where two families got together. We're all young children. It's a big thing. And I remember feeling absolutely overjoyed that I had new brothers and sisters, and three of them were younger than me, whereas before I was the youngest with my older brother and sister. All of a sudden I've got younger brothers and sisters to play with, and a new mum who was really caring and lovely. And I don't think I'd ever realised how wonderful that is in my life, to have that, and what a blessing it is. Whereas I think before it was just like a scribble, trying to sort of, couldn't really stitch all the parts together. That was amazing, because in my life I realised even more what a blessing that is, as opposed to a scribbled mess. So even if the other stuff didn't make as much sense to me, that hit home. That made perfect sense because it's in my life. So that's a massive benefit.
The theory in QHHT is that when we go back and travel through memories, whether they be past incarnations or whether they be memories from this lifetime, when you journey through them in a safe way, in, for example, hypnosis, any negative emotional effects that those memories have been having on you gets naturally released. Do you feel like that's happened to you?
A natural release.
From any emotions
Yeah, definitely.
attached to your childhood?
Oh, definitely. The whole thing's a therapy. The whole thing is just therapy from beginning to the end. And it's a massive release. Yeah, you come out floating. Because I remember when you brought me out of the hypnosis, ages to come out. Everything was so slow, and it was nice to allow everything to slow down. My breathing was really slow, and I kept visualising you as Meg from Meg and Mog, because you were just there, but it was kind of darkish. And I think I didn't realise it was nearly 3 hours under hypnosis, and I think I'd moved one arm on my leg once. I was just like setting plaster, just pinned to the bed, lovely and relaxing. And then as you brought me out, the sun had just worked its way out of the crack between the blinds and shone all in the room. Ah, what a wondrous moment. So the whole thing was fantastic.
Before I brought you out, did we do work with the subconscious, the higher self, where usually in a session I'd ask questions that that person wanted to have answers to? Was that a piece of work that we did? Did you bring questions to the session with you?
I can't remember. Do you?
No.
I don't think I did. But if there were questions deep in, which I'm actually holding into myself at the moment, they came out in the session. So that just shows that we do keep things hidden down inside. This has helped me to learn to understand them, process them, and realise that if there's anything down there, you couldn't have changed anything that happened in your life. But you can learn to understand it and deal with it, and that actually from it comes very wondrous things. It's like flipping the coin. What you thought was bad, or actually you can just flip that to positive energy. I've got a great understanding of things.
Did you? How's that changed your life since the session?
Still floating along. Still feel like I'm slightly in that meditative state. Feeling like I've been somewhere, the hub of the universe. I mean, there's nowhere better to go than that, is there? So I've definitely got a great understandings of holistically and personally, and learnt to accept things. So where I thought my scrambled life was a scrambled mess, well, look how fantastic it was, because I had new brothers and sisters. I had a mum that was stable and cared. And I've been on this great, fantastic trip back in time to different places. I mean, a whole bunch of things that would never happen to you in your normal day life just happened in one day. So it's a real life trip.
What would you say to anyone considering QHHT? I guess if you had words of encouragement, what would you say?
What you ain't for? What's holding you back? And I think, like I say, originally I thought, I haven't got a day spare. Well, you have, because if there's something you want to do, you create time for it. So just make time for it. It's money well spent. And if you think, oh, well, that's expensive, well, it's not expensive when it means that much to you. What's money? And the money just appeared in my hand anyway one day from nowhere. So that was a great thing. It was a payoff from another job that I'd forgot, put a bit of money on that one for me. And it got given to me one day, and I was like, there you go. And it was fantastic. It's one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to dig deep into your soul and organise a mess and go to places you've never been before and sort out those problems, like I was saying earlier, putting them into drawers, filing system. It's a bit like that. It's a bit like sorting out your filing system in a wonderful cosmic manner, if that makes any sense to anyone.
It makes perfect sense to me. I guess the final question I'd like to ask is, like, your biggest takeaway. You've mentioned lots of positives and being able to relate to earlier parts of your life in a different way now. If you were to round it all up and give me one big takeaway, what would it be?
One big takeaway from it. I feel like I've already explained as much as I can. Yeah. I feel like it's all come out. It's a purge. I suppose, yeah. You could think of it as a purge in a way as well. It involves a bit of everything, doesn't it? It's a massive therapy that involves everything all in one day.
I love that.
Good.
If you'd like to find out more about the quantum healing hypnosis technique, or if you're a past client of mine and you'd like to share your experience, I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me via my website, which is aninatherapy.co.uk, or you can just send me a message via this platform and we can organise a chat. Thanks for watching the video and for your interest in QHHT. It really is awesome work.